you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We made it. And let's go to the house. And let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game's not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. It is Winning Wednesday, and I know I got to shout out to a lot of winners out there. In fact, want to shout out to the football team down there at Clark Atlantic University. Big shout out to their new head coach and their defensive coordinator. I know him as LC Cole. You need to know him as the legendary LC Cole. They're about to make some big noise down there in Atlanta. Also got to extend again continued condolences to the family of Jacoby Jones. It has been released that he died of natural causes because there were folks trying to say it was something else, natural causes. But let me just say this, black man, get your blood pressure checked. Get your blood pressure checked. And for all the people that are trying to say it was connected to the vaccine and boosters and all that, just hush. Please let families grieve without your political rhetoric. Please stop. Again, that man's family is grieving. His friends are grieving. Coach Johnny Cole and those who knew him are grieving. Please stop. The man died of natural causes. Black men, get your blood pressure checked regularly. It doesn't cost much to get you a cuff. Check that blood pressure. Use the things that are out there and readily available to lower your blood pressure. All right. And let's just kind of keep ourselves healthy. All right. That's all I got for you. On today, I got one of the best in the business. He is my brother. He is my friend. He is my mate from the network that we both are a part of, the BS3 network. Y'all put your hands together for Snowman in the morning, Mr. Brian Snow. What's going on, bro?
You do me much honor, my man. It is a thrill and an honor to be with you on this Winning Wednesday.
Well, man, I'm glad to have it. I am glad to have it. So anyway, man, listen, how you doing first and foremost?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. No more cancer. I am getting my leg strength back from being in a wheelchair for almost 7 months. And my physical therapists have been awesome. My family has been awesome. Of course, y'all know about my beautiful wife, Jody. She's the main one that pushes me to do better and get better. But there are 5 special shout outs I need to send right now.
Do it.
Dakota, my son, my daughter, Sonia, my daughter, Cheyenne, my daughter, Carmen, and my daughter, Samantha, and all my grandkids and everyone. all the students that have shown me much love over the past 3 years. As I've fought pancreatic cancer, I fought kidney failure. And you're right, man, get your blood pressure checked,
Yeah.
because when I got diagnosed with blood clots in both my lungs, as you know, while I was living in North Carolina, it was through the roof. It was through the roof, because I don't want to see any other black man laying on a table for 2.5 hours getting blood sucked out of them because they let themselves go for so long. But like I said, the biggest shout out for me has got to be my beauty, has got to be Jody.
Yeah.
Because you know, man, and I laugh and I cry every time I talk about her. She's my ride or die. She's my person, and she's been there with me through everything.
I love that, man. I love how you acknowledge her. You know, again, we'll get to the sports end of it, but I love how you acknowledge her. I don't know if I want to say it this way, but I'll say it this way because it's what hit me. Every now and then, man, we find that angel, that person that was literally sent down from heaven for us. And you found your angel, man. You found your angel. I didn't mean to do that to you, but I'm telling you.
No. You're fine. You're fine. It's just every time I talk about her, tears of joy happens. And she raced the clock and saved my life.
Yeah.
You know, when we first met 6 years ago, to her and my daughter Sonia calling an ambulance to get me to the hospital when we were in North Carolina, to everything, man. Even last fall when I had to deal with kidney failure, which is now rescinding, which is now getting better because I'm drinking a heck of a lot of water now. But the sports are only a small part of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sports are only a small part of this, and you and the folks at BS3 have been so supportive of me, and to say thank you would be an understatement.
Man, I got to tell you, I had no idea the blessing in my life that Ben Sutter III, King Doc, the Queens, yourself, Cole Johnson, you know, I can go on and on and on. I just had no idea, man. I'm grateful to be a part of that family, because had it not been for me coming to the family, I don't know if I would have met you. And meeting you again is like just meeting a brother from a different mother. That's not a line. That's not a bar. That's a fact.
It is total fact. Total fact. I love you guys over at BS3. I mean, like I said, you guys have been some of my biggest supporters through the last 3 years, and I can't say thank you enough.
Well, man, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. You are one of the baddest in the business. Why don't you let our listeners know a little bit about you? How'd you get started in this thing called broadcast journalism and sports?
I grew up in Chicago many years ago, and there was a fellow by the name of Jim Durham. When I heard him do play-by-play for the Chicago Bulls, then he got teamed up with Johnny Red Kerr. That was all I needed.
Yeah.
Because when I heard him on WMAQ back in Chicago, have a simple philosophy. If he can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
If Jim Durham can do this for many years, then doggone it, so can I. And I'm about to enter my 30th year this fall.
Man.
30th year.
And that's so crazy, because I'm sure it feels like it's only been a few. Like you just look up and all of a sudden it's 30, you know?
Mm-hmm. And Jody said the same thing. Jody said the same thing to me when, you know, I was preparing for a baseball game last week, and she says, "Isn't this going to be your 30th season this fall?" And I stopped. And I had this big grin on my face, and I said, "Wow, 30 years. I can't believe this is going to be my 30th year in broadcasting in many forms thereof." And I feel like I'm just getting started. Yeah. Especially after what's happened the last 3 years health-wise, and I'm getting better.
Yeah.
The weight's coming off. I'm getting my strength back. I'm going to be able to chase my grandkids around the farm soon.
That's good.
After the littlest one played a cruel practical joke on me and tagged me and took off running, but I would not change that for anything. I would not change it for anything.
That's outstanding. Congratulations on 30 years.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Man, and I can't wait to see what's next over the next 30 for you, man. Because
same here. Same here.
It's great to see what you do. Now, listen, you're a good brother. You've been doing it for 30 years. We brothers in the BS3 network and in life.
Mm-hmm.
But you like this team, these San Francisco 49ers.
Damn right. Since January 10th, 1982.
So
and I'm not changing for nobody.
So I'm gonna tell you. Let me help you. John Brody was one of my first favorite quarterbacks. I just dated myself, and I ain't scared of that. But I have been a 49ers fan.
You think I'm scared of that? You think I'm scared of dating myself? I just said the exact date I signed my life away to the San Francisco 49ers, and the team it happened against just happened to be the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's when I discovered Joe Montana.
Yep.
That's when I discovered Dwight Clark.
Yep.
That's when I discovered Freddie Solomon.
Yep.
Okay, Jim Stuckey, who recovered the fumble after after Danny White got stripped on the next drive. Come on, man. I've been a 49er since then. Been doing my research on John Brody, John Hadel. Of course, my favorite kicker, one of my favorite kickers of all time. You remember this name, Ray Warshing.
Yep. Well, I got to tell you, that's when the 49ers broke my heart on that day. Y'all played well. Congratulations. You tried to win, but when he made that catch, man, my whole world just sank.
Well, how do you think Everson Walls feels?
Bro.
Everson Walls is 5'10". Dwight Clark is 6'4".
And he just did not have enough. He did not have enough elevation. Well, I was a Joe Montana fan from Notre Dame. I mean, so I can't be mad, but I can also leave the legacy where it is, because this 49ers team right now is different. Different. And, they've got a head coach that I'm somewhat familiar with. He used to be the offensive coordinator with the Houston Texans, of course. I was at the Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. 28-3. Got how to run the ball. And I will say, for the most part, after that game, he somewhat owned what happened to him. But I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Bring it on.
Are you seeing some of those things pop up at the wrong times in his coaching right now with the 49ers?
Yes and no.
Okay.
We saw it at the Super Bowl when the story came out that apparently he didn't get his team ready for overtime, which I don't buy at all. I see a lot of it come up at times when it shouldn't come up. The final game against the Rams, although there were circumstances in play, because if you remember last year, the final game against the Rams, they rested everybody because they had already clinched the division. They already clinched the number one seed. But see, as mad as I can get at Kyle Shanahan for some of the gaffes, Super Bowl 54, NFC Championship against the Rams, the Niners are locked into him. And one of these times, and I think it's going to come this year, the whole puzzle is going to be put together. It's crazy right now because Trent Williams is holding out and Brandon Ayuk is holding out. And before you even pose the question about those two, my next 4 words are: don't believe the hype. I already know where it's going. Because you're not the first person that's going to ask me questions about those two, and you won't be the last. Remember Deebo Samuel from 2020?
Oh no, I get it. I get it. And John Lynch is that wild card. John Lynch is the guy that makes it look like he's going to go cheap, and then somewhere down the line he finds money in that left pocket. You my age, you got money in the right pocket, you got money in the left pocket. Yeah.
It just depends if it's the left pants pocket or the left jacket pocket, because John Lynch is always wearing a jacket.
Exactly.
Okay. You could think that he doesn't have any money in his right jacket pocket for, I don't know, Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, or the upcoming payday of Brock Purdy. And we all know that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Because everyone still wants to call Brock Purdy a game manager, which is a lie unless you haven't watched Mr. Brock Purdy do his thing. Watch this. They granted Brandon Ayuk permission to seek a trade, part 1, and 2, negotiate a trade. You know how much leverage that gives San Francisco?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am reminded of this is one of my favorite movie quotes from The Two Jakes of 1990. You can follow the action, which gives you good pictures, which is what a lot of people are doing with all the posts that come out on Twitter. Oh, he's been traded to the Steelers. He's been traded to the Patriots. Man, please. You're talking about a couple of cash-strapped teams that are desperate for a big name that will somehow elevate his offense. Let me ask you this. Would you rather have Russell Wilson or, God help us all, Justin Fields throwing to Brandon Ayuk? Or would you rather have Brandon Ayuk streaking down the sidelines and Brock Purdy hitting him with a perfect pass for a 75-yard touchdown? You do the math. But as the quote goes, you can follow the action, which gives you good pictures. You can follow your instincts, which more than likely will get you in trouble. Or you can follow the money, which 9 times out of 10 will get you closer to the truth.
There it is. There it is. And the money is right there on the bank. The money is right there in the bank.
They got look, San Francisco has the money. The price is driven up for teams that want to trade with San Francisco because it's going to cost you 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks for a fellow who back-to-back years has had 75-plus catches and over 1,300 yards. And you want to and a part of this is on Brandon Ayuk, but I know why he's playing the game and how he's playing the game. Again, Deebo Samuel 4 years ago, same thing. And Deebo Samuel has done nothing but have 4 all-pro seasons. Brandon Ayuk on his way to do the same thing. And plus, Brandon Ayuk is under contract for this year.
Right.
It's simple semantics.
Yeah, we got Brian Snowman in the morning, joining us here on the Lunch Break Winning Wednesday. Listen, let me take my first break, and then I want to talk about that division as a whole because I got them winning the division. I don't know how far I got them going from there. I know. Don't say anything. We'll do it right after the break, right here on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense
the throw, just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes, the coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Hey, my name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
Listen, get it ready. If you want to win another $500 cash, all you got to do is get ready to make your picks first week in September. Get $25 for every week that you got the most right. And then at the end of the year, if you're in the top 6, you'll compete for $500 cash. My former classmate who looks a lot younger than me, Danny Wilson, won that $500 last year. Yeah, man, I'm going to start dyeing my stuff, man. I ain't ashamed.
I'm not.
I'm dying, bro.
Listen.
I need to put a little bit more pepper in the salt of mine.
Listen, I'm Bob Barker in this. If this goes great, so be it. I'll come through the doors every morning ready to rock and roll, okay? Do you know listen, I know this is a game show reference, but y'all know me and I talk game shows on my program. You know, the first day Bob Barker came out with gray hair, everybody flipped upside down. And what happened? He still wound up being this for doing it for 35 years, man.
Absolutely. You're right. After seeing Danny, I'm starting to feel a little self-conscious about it, you know?
After seeing my dad with gray hair, I was looking forward to it.
That's all right.
Because me and Pop just didn't care.
I got you.
All right. Dad is the first one to teach me if they don't like if they don't like you for you, there's the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I got you. Hey, let me get some comments in real quick. Keith Hennick says, good afternoon, gentlemen.
What's up, Keith?
He says 49ers were great back in the day, and they are great now. And that's coming from a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan.
Mm-hmm.
He also says number 11 will be a Niner for life. He's not going anywhere.
He ain't, because rumblings are telling me there's a 4-year deal on the table. It's increased. The money has increased. They got to find the money to pay. Well, remember who they had to keep in their stable. 4 years ago, it was Deebo Samuel.
Yep.
Last year, it was Nick Bosa.
Yep.
And you know they're going to strengthen that contract because Nick Bosa is going to be a big part of the line. They just recently signed Leonard Floyd, and there's going to be an extension coming from him because he's going to terrorize the daylights out of everybody in the NFC West. And then there is the payday that everybody is looking for, that some people think Cameron Jarrell Newton, he doesn't deserve, but he absolutely deserves, because in less than 3 years' time, he's taking his team to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl appearance. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Brock Purdy.
Yeah, he's gonna get mad crazy money, and he should.
And John Lynch has all of his left-hand pockets in every jacket ready to pay not only Brandon Ayuk, not only to pay Trent Williams, because Trent Williams is going to get a 2-year extension, in my opinion, if not 3, because you're talking about the best damn left tackle in the game.
Yeah.
But he's got, you know how much money they got coming in the Silicon Valley? To the point where Levi Stadium is up and running and getting improvements already.
Wow.
Remember, it's barely 10 years old.
Yeah. Levi
Stadium is barely 10 years old. And remember how they designed that stadium? What goes on in Northern California? Earthquakes.
Right. Listen, we got Brian Snowman in the morning. Okay, listen, let me get to this, man. I know that this is not where I want to be. I'll fast forward it over. I'll fast forward it over to the NFC side. Here we go. There you go. That's where I want us to be.
Okay.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
That 13 becomes 14.
Okay.
The Cardinals will not win 5 games.
Okay.
Not with who's the quarterback for the Cardinals?
You know what? I hear you. I hear you on that. But Kyler Murray has been running for his life since he got in the league.
And they haven't fixed the main problem with the Cardinals.
And I agree that. I agree.
Say it with me, class. What do you need to protect an asset you gave $200 million to? An offensive line.
Right. I think the Rams sneak into the playoffs. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be just a little bit of drop off from the Seahawks. And like you said,
they're going to get and the Rams will sneak into the playoffs, but no problem.
Yeah.
They're going to get socked in the mouth by Detroit again.
Okay. So I'm glad you said that, because let me fast forward again.
Okay. Okay. Since we got to see Detroit in week 17, as I said, for the 49ers, that 13 becomes 14.
Okay.
And that'll be the second closest game of the year. The other one is week 7 against Kansas City.
Okay.
The Lions are not playing around.
Okay.
All right. The Lions are not playing. Unfortunately, they're going to have to come to Santa Clara twice.
Okay.
The Cowboys, and let me say this. I know so many people that are Cowboy fans. Now, we have to separate them, as you've often heard me say on my show. You got the logical thinking ones, and then, as Victor has termed oh so well, the moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation, who seem to think, God help us, that it's their year. Listen, You follow football as long as I. You know that every year, and Victor gave me this term recently, there are a couple of troll games on the schedule for every single team.
Right.
The Cowboys have 2 of them within 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Week 6, they go to Detroit and they get stomped in the mouth. Week 7, they get a bye to lick their wounds. And week 8, they got to go to Santa Clara on Sunday Night Football.
Right.
You already know. How did Mike Greenberg say? This story ends quickly and very, very badly for the Dallas Cowboys. Matter of fact, the lowest scoring game for San Francisco this year will be the game against Detroit. We'll have to pull it out at the last second because Detroit is nothing to sneeze at.
All right. Well, speaking of that, here's what I got next. You ready?
Bring it. You're trolling.
No,
ain't no way to. AJ,
I'm very serious.
AJ, I love you dearly. But Detroit still has a nightmare to compete with.
Okay.
I told you they got to go to Santa Clara twice. And they're not going to win either time. Now, I'm not saying either trip's going to be a blowout. No, it's going to be. You know what? The 2 times the Lions will play the 49ers, it'll wind up in the 40s both times. Because Jared Goff is having a revival. Amon-Ra St. Brown having a revival. The Bears were stupid enough to let David Montgomery walk all the way to Detroit, and he's going to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
He will.
And then there's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I am not saying in either way, shape, form, or fashion that either game, because I'm seeing the Lions and 49ers play for the NFC title, will be a blowout. No. Unlike when we used to beat the hell out of Aaron Rodgers every year, we can't do that to Detroit because Detroit's too much like San Francisco.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. The closest games this year will be week 7 when we host the Chiefs and week 17 when we host Detroit. Everybody else gonna get a mud hole stomped in their ass and walk dry.
Okay. All right. We got Brian Snowman in the morning, joining us here on the lunch break. Let me tell you what I've got the difference being from last year and this year.
And that is?
Everything that you said is correct about, what the Lions have, what the 49ers have. But this one comes down to 2 people. 1, head coach of the 49ers.
And 2,
head coach of the Lions.
I'll stop you right there. Dan Gamble.
I understand.
Do you realize who the coach? Do you realize who the coach of the Lions is?
Him alive. The mistakes that he made last season that kept him from where they wanted to be.
And it's going to eat him alive again.
But watch this. The question is, will he learn from his mistakes, or will he do it over and over again like we've seen your head coach do it? I think Dan Campbell gets it right this year.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But for Dan Gamble to get it right, the same thing Kyle Shanahan has to do, and I've said it many times, get out of your head, will you?
I agree.
Because you had 4th and 2. Let's go back to that NFC Championship game. You watched it. I did a live stream for that game. 4th and 2 on 2 occasions. One in the 3rd quarter, one in the 4th quarter. If he converts either of those, you turn it into points.
Right.
And it's a 3-possession game.
Right.
Because he did not convert either of those, it becomes 10 points for San Francisco.
Right.
Including the clincher.
Yep.
I say Kyle Shanahan gets it right, not only in the NFC Championship, but he gets it right in New Orleans.
Okay. All right.
Because I plan to be in, I don't care who gets to the Super Bowl, quite honestly. Do I want to see my 49ers do it? Absolutely. My goal is to take my family to the Superdome and Radio Row in New Orleans.
There you go.
That's my goal.
There you go. Well, brother, listen, I would love to be sitting somewhere next to you, man, because that is a great.
You better.
That is
you better. I will accept nothing less than to be with the BS3 crew down in New Orleans.
Exactly. Look, I don't know where I'm on the pecking order. Ben Sutter III and Tim Dawk and all you other brothers. I feel like I'm like number 7, number 8, which is fine by me. But just make sure you got 7 or 8 chairs. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
You better bring a couple more, because if I come to New Orleans, Jody's coming with me.
Oh, well, yeah. I will get up out of my chair to make sure she sits next to you. Let's take a break, man. We'll come back and wrap it up right after this. We got Brian Snow and the Snowman in the morning right here joining us on the lunch break.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, y'all, we're back here to wrap it up with Snowman in the morning. Brian Snow on Winning Wednesday here on the lunch break. Glad to have him as always. Brother, tell us what you got coming up, what you're working on, and where people can find and follow you for those that don't know.
YouTube.com/@Snowman Multimedia is where you can follow me. I'm getting back in the virtual play-by-play chair tonight with the Giants and the Nationals. And then from there, I'm going to be following the Astros for the remainder of the year. And since there are two football teams in my household, one is the Colts, that's for Jody, and the other is the 49ers for me. And of course, according to Jody, the answer is always the Colts. I'll be following both of them as well. My goal by the end of September is to get to 2,000 subs on my main channel and to duplicate it on my play-by-play channel. So I got a lot going on, and I'm going to enjoy it.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm trying to branch out a little bit. I'm doing a little bit more writing. Nuts and Bolts Sports just brought me on to do some content creation on the writing side. I told him I couldn't do any broadcasting because I do all that for BS3 and for JM&E, but doing a little bit of writing. So that's different, man. It's very different.
Isn't it? Writing requires thinking. Man.
And a lot of stuff that sounded good in my head when it gets on the screen in front of me, it's like, that's crack. What is that?
Exactly. You make more edits typing than you do audibly or video wise. Yeah. You make more edits writing than you do with broadcasting.
Yep.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, burnt the sumbitch when I got done with it. All right.
Well, man, again, I appreciate you. I value you. I respect you, man. I can't thank God enough for you, man. Again, any more shout outs you want to give out?
Just to everyone that's viewed my content. I'm on at 6:20 Eastern time, 5:20 Central time this evening for the Giants and the Nationals. We begin with the pregame show, and I'll take you from first pitch all the way through the postgame. And thank you to everyone at BS3. Thank you to everyone in my family and my extended family all over the place that has supported me. I truly appreciate it.
Well, brother, you keep doing your thing. Keep your head up. Keep getting up. And we're going to be following the Snowman in the morning.
Thank
love
you.
you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, Brian Snow, Snowman in the morning, right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm about to shut this thing down. I want you guys to just have a great rest of your day. And again, we'll be back tomorrow. Chris Gardner, Houston Round Ball Review. We'll be back with another episode. Friday will be the coach, Johnny Cole, with the HBCU Stroll. Monday, it will be part 2 of the HBCU Stroll. And I'll be back on next Tuesday with another Talk Your Team Tuesday. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it. So tune in for all of that tomorrow.
With what you need to know, today is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. Number 1. Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris secured the Democratic presidential nomination. Tuesday, she chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Walz has a strong record of bipartisanship and supports civil rights, as shown by his role in the George Floyd case and his appointment of Minnesota's first Black Supreme Court Justice. Number 2, the internet saw a dramatic increase in calls for violence, including modern-day civil war following the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. This pattern of increased online violence rhetoric has followed every mass shooting or targeted violence incident in the past decade. Despite efforts by mainstream platforms, fringe extremist sites with minimal content moderation have emerged, often glorifying mass shootings. Number 3, kidney disease disproportionately affects minority communities, particularly African Americans and Hispanics. The National Kidney Foundation and American Society of Nephrology plan to remove race as a factor in kidney donor evaluations, aiming for equity in transplantation. Doctors, hospitals, and labs should be informed of these changes to ensure accurate calculations. Number 4, an Olympic boxing match, Imane Khalif faced Angela Carini, who forfeited after 46 seconds due to pain and not making a political statement. Carini's action sparked online vitriol, with many accusing Khalif of being transgender or having intersex traits due to failing an undisclosed eligibility test. Intersex people have variations in sex traits and reproductive anatomy, with 1 in 100 Americans estimated to be intersex. Number 5, Jamia Milligan has been missing from Chicago since July 25th. The 13-year-old was last seen in the Grand Crossing area wearing a red shirt, black leggings, and gray slide sandals. Take a look at her picture, and if you have any information on Jamia's disappearance, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. When we dream, we connect with our deeper selves and what truly matters to us. So inhale the dreams, exhale doubt. Got more. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with producer Stephen Hill, comedian Myra J., and LGBTQ activist Quinn Townsend Riley as we discuss the day's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.